Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I hope you're well. Leave Gaza now was the warning that Benjamin Netanyahu had given to the citizens of Gaza last year before waging a full-blown war against the besieged region, which still has not come to a halt. Now a similar statement, "Please get out of harm's way now," is being issued again by Benjamin Netanyahu for the citizens of Lebanon, just to show how much he cares for innocent lives. More than 490 Lebanese citizens have lost their lives, which includes children and women, because of the deadly airstrikes, as well as the pager and walkie-talkie attack that took place, while thousands are critically injured. Again and again, the Israeli politicians used statements such as, "Our war is only against the extremists and not against the whole population," or "Innocent civilians just get executed because the extremists use them as human shields when they had started their brutal war in Gaza last year." And now again, we are hearing the same statements being made by the same politicians that they are only attacking the extremist organization and the Lebanese civilians are losing their lives only because they are being used as human shields. This is a deliberate attempt by the Israeli government to call civilians as human shields instead of human beings, so that all the human rights cease to apply to them.
The only reason there are civilian casualties in this war is because Hamas is using them as human shields.
I think Hamas is expecting that to happen because Hamas in their tactics use asymmetric tactics. They use the local Palestinian population as human shields.
We cannot accept terrorist groups storing weapons inside people's homes.
It must be clear to everyone by now that Israel has now waged a full-blown war against Lebanon too, while continuing to attack the Palestinians. It is using words like "save yourself," "we care about civilians," and "we are only against extremism" as code words to hide their intentions of pulling the whole Middle East into chaos. Surprisingly, the Western media is still portraying Israel as being some sort of savior whose sole aim is to defend its boundaries against extremist attacks. Even though Israel is carrying out its military brutal attacks against Gaza, the West Bank, and Lebanon at the same time. Can hypocrisy be explained in a better way than this? Almost a year has passed, with more than 41,000 deaths in Palestine and unimaginable suffering. The West, as well as the rest of the world, only held conference to talk about the issue and nothing else. The US and Germany are still the largest arms suppliers to Israel to ensure that Israel can continue its attacks upon innocent civilians. And all organizations, such as human rights organizations, UNESCO, and even the International Court of Justice have proved that they are helpless when such grave violations of human rights are carried out by Israel. It was predicted before the start of war in Gaza last year by many scholars and politicians that the war in Gaza is just the beginning and the real aim is to plunge the whole Middle East into a state of open battleground. And now that Lebanon has been added to the list of countries against which Israel is operating to end in order to restore so-called peace in the area, we really can't say which area will be next, where the peacekeeper will try to restore peace and tranquility.
We are not targeting anyone else in Gaza but civilians. Hamas is cynically, but rather terrorist, of course.
People are trying to suggest that there is some sort of moral equivalence. There is no moral equivalence. We are not the victims. Sorry, we are the victims.
When they are told, "Do not spread corruption in the land," they reply, "We are only peacemakers." Indeed, it is they who are the corruptors, but they fail to perceive it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our brothers and sisters in Lebanon and Palestine. Ameen.